Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me in today's shapes and sizing video. In this video, we are going to take you through 5 different beautiful shapes that we as women find ourselves, and also the 5 different shapes of bridal and how they marry together so that you can confidently choose the right gown for your body shape. So given that a lot of us don't always know exactly what shape and size we are, I'm going to take you through a little bit of a brief overview. If you're looking for more information, it is in our blog post on shapes and sizing. This just reiterates everything that we talk about in that blog post. So please do check it out on our media page or our news page. So jumping in straight away, we're going to start with the 5 different beautiful body shapes that we as women are. So the first and the easiest is the hourglass shape. This is what we all ultimately strive for, and good on you women who are naturally this way or work really hard to be this way. So an hourglass is where your shoulders and your hips and thighs are in a straight line. So they sit like this, and then an hourglass is your in at your little waist. So this really works for a lot of different dress sizes and shapes and styles. You can pretty much wear anything that you choose, but we will go into that in more depth in a moment. But for those of you who need a visual, here is a picture of what an hourglass shape looks like. Next, we have the round or the apple shape. So this is where we have slightly bigger boobs and we have a rounder, more full belly and thigh area. And we all just kind of look like a beautiful apple. Now this is great for anything with ruching on a dress, as it really helps define that waist and really give you that shape coming in. So here is a picture of a round shape, and we'll go through the dresses that work for a beautiful round shape in a minute. Next, we have the pear. So this is where we are smaller up top, so we have thinner shoulders and smaller boobs, and then we go out for that beautiful voluptuous bum and thigh area. So we form a pear. So this is what a pear shape looks like. Next, we have the inverted triangle, which is what I personally am. So I have big shoulders, bigger boobs, not that that necessarily matters in this inverted triangle instance. It's just where we have a wider shoulder than we do hips. So we go like this. So for an inverted triangle, we look great with anything that comes out off that hip line. But here is a picture of an inverted triangle if you need to. Now my lucky last is a rectangle. So a rectangle shape is exactly what you think. We go out at the shoulders and we just go straight down. The other version that we call it is also a column shape. So it's straight up and down without in at the waist, but not quite an apple shape. All right, now we're gonna start back at the top where we were. So our beautiful hourglass shapes, the gowns that they really suit are either a mermaid or trumpet style is an easy winner if you're looking for something fitted. So that's fitted down to the hip line, down to kind of that. A mermaid normally goes out at the knees, and a trumpet shape goes out about a hand span above that. So this is your knee, it's about a hand span, and that's it. So it kind of fits just a little bit lower than mid-thigh. It starts to either soften out or go out in force. The next step up from that is a fit and flare. So if you really want to pop that booty without being constricted around the legs, you've got a fit and flare shape. So that goes out just as we go in at the hip line. Now I'm doing this, but you can't actually see on me because of the video, but that's okay. So it goes in just, if we were to do like a sideward bend with our leg, it would go in just here after the little indentation that we've got. A fit and flare shape is fantastic for those who want that fitted sculpture and then just want it to soften out at the bottom. So you can dance and move and party and really enjoy that wedding reception without feeling constricted in a mermaid or trumpet shape. Next shape that really works well for an hourglass is an A-line. So that's where we get a fitted to here, which is about the waist, and then we soften out. Now you can have a full circular A-line or a full A-line, which is quite a triangle of a skirt without being the puffy ball gowns. Or you can have a soft A-line. So an A-line is where it comes in at the waist and then it just softens out. So that it would look a little bit straight up and down for a soft A-line, but it does still come in at that waist, emphasize the waist, and then soften out, whether that's in that full structured A-line or a soft A-line. So that really works. And that style works for a lot of different shapes and a lot of different people. So that's like the ultimate in easy go-to. It's like that beautiful pair of tracky pants you've got in the cupboard that works no matter how you're feeling. That's like your beautiful A-line shape. So it works for a lot of people who aren't looking for something fitted, who aren't looking for something overly tizzy, no less beautiful, but it's a really great all-rounder shape. We find it a lot in garden weddings or outdoor weddings here in Australia because of our beautiful climate. Now the next shape for pretty much hourglass, if you haven't worked out, can pretty much wear anything. That is the benefit of being an hourglass shape. So the final shape that we have for an hourglass is the big, beautiful ball gowns. So a lot of our Anastasia collection are ball gowns, and they really work for this kind of shape. Fabrics, it doesn't matter whether it's lace, organza, tulle, chiffon, you've got that big, beautiful big skirt to give you that really princess look. Next, we're going to move on to an apple shape. So an apple shape works really well for anything that really emphasizes that waist. So for an apple, a ball gown again works really well because what happens is it comes in at the waist and then it puffs out, giving you that beautiful illusion of being really nice and fitted through here, and then that big beautiful skirt. The next shape that an apple or a round shape works really well for is an A-line, like we discussed. So anything with a little bit of ruching that goes through here is a wonder. Now that can be part of any shape. That's part of the detail that sits on top of the actual silhouette of the gown. So an A-line works really well for a round or an apple shape as well, giving the illusion of that waist, really bringing the eye in, and then just either softening for a soft A-line or going out in that full circle A-line skirt. The next is a pear. Now a pear shape is where we're smaller up the top and then we have that beautiful round booty, hip, thigh area. So we're heavier on the bottom, and an A-line shape works really, really well for this, as we often find that we're different sizes when you're a pear shape. So you'll find you're 1 or 2 sizes smaller for the waist and the bust area than you are for the hip. And because we're looking for something that needs to fit the biggest part of you when you order, a lot of people do go for an A-line shape. It still emphasizes that beautiful upper torso area, and then it softens out. Now, if you don't want to do an A-line and you do want something fitted and you want those beautiful hips and booty out there loud and proud, then a fit and flare is a really good shape for you as well. You will have to run it in at the top half because you will need to buy a gown that fits your lower half because you can always run in the top. You can't let it out necessarily to fit the bottom. And it's always easier to to take it in than it is to let it out, because you can run it in up to 2 sizes and you can normally release it up to about 1 size. So a pear shape, a fit and flare works really well, where it's fitted up the top, it gets to just kind of like biggest part of the hip, and then it softens out. And that really kind of helps sculpt that look for you without constricting your movement or without making you look like you've got really big saddlebags that you may or may not have. So it's all about emphasizing the assets and camouflaging the rest, because we want you to look beautiful and amazing on your wedding day, or formal. The next shape we've got is the inverted triangle, which is what I am. So this is probably the easiest for me to talk about, given the fact that we've all been dressing ourselves for many years at this point. So as an inverted triangle, I can wear, or you can wear, a mermaid shape, so something that's fitted. I personally like something that does flare out a little bit from the hip line or from the waist, just to give me a little bit more shape and definition on the hip, just to kind of make my waist look a little bit smaller. So a fitted skirt with like a little peplum top is always a really good thing. Otherwise, a beautiful big ball gown. Miss the A-lines, they don't give us enough shape. Ball gowns are a really beautiful gown that always emphasize how little your waist is. It could be a 6 or a 26 and you'd still look amazing. Finally, we have the rectangle shape. So this needs as much help as possible to kind of give us as much of a waist as we can create. So an A-line is really great for this. We normally don't go as full as a ball gown because I find that rectangles tend to feel a little bit blocky in such a big gown. But an A-line shape in at the waist, again, ruching is really great. It just draws the eye in to create that really defined waistline. The other shape that's really good is something that's either like a sheath or a column shape. I find a lot of rectangles tend to gravitate towards, and that's more of a straight up and down style, and they come in some beautiful laces and fabrics and things like that. So I find that that really works as well. So no matter what shape or size you are, I really hope that this video has helped. On every gown on our website, we have put in, as part of our Anastasia collection, our Aria bride wedding gowns and the haute couture range of Oliver Martineau. We have put in what shape that gown is for you down the bottom. So if you scroll past the description and the options to order, down the bottom you will see what gown shape is available. You can also filter this. So in the sample sale, where we have over 350 beautiful, amazing designer gowns for you that are drastically reduced, we have filters, so make sure you use those. You can filter for style, shape of skirt. So if you're after a ball gown or a mermaid or a trumpet, you've got all of that on access to you. And also you can filter for size. So if you followed our how to measure video, which is critical for choosing a size, and we recommend that everyone does this before they make a decision on their sizing, as bridal tends to be quite different to what we normally wear in clothes. So our little sizes tend to go a little bit smaller in bridal, and anything from about a 10, which is not big by any means, tends to go up a little bit in bridal. So it also depends on what clothes you're used to wearing, depends on how much that might change. But it's pretty normal to go up between 1 and 3 sizes in bridal from what you'd normally wear in clothes. So don't be alarmed, don't be stressed, don't think that, oh my God, I've put on 20 kilos without realizing. It's just a thing. It's based on the old European days where corsetry, like that proper wire corsetry and boning, was a thing in all of their clothes, and we really haven't updated the bridal size chart since then. Don't be alarmed, just buy whatever fits, because in my 15 years of bridal and 35 years that it's been in my family, we haven't been asked, we haven't been told about a bride who was asked what size her wedding gown was on her wedding day. Feel free to ask those people to leave if anyone ever does, but it hasn't happened yet. And as long as you look and feel beautiful, that is all that matters. So I will wrap this up here because you've listened to me drone on for long enough, but I really hope that this has helped. Don't forget to check out our blog post on shapes and sizing and silhouettes if you are still needing help or want to revisit those pictures. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.